Most people fall in love under the stars, on beaches, or during some soft indie song. Me? I fell in love in a goddamn bathtub with my ear between his teeth. If this were a movie, they'd cut the scene right before he whispered that line, but in real life, there's no fade to black, only the burning silence that comes after. I had just turned 20 when I met Levi Hart. He was the kind of man who walked like he didn't need the world's permission to exist. Tall, broad-shouldered, ink creeping from his collar down to fingers that looked too elegant to have ever thrown a punch, but I later found out he had. I was new in Brooklyn, living in a sublet that smelled like dead dreams and cigarette ash, working nights at a diner near Myrtle Avenue, serving eggs to drunks and insomniacs, barely scraping by. Levi showed up at table 9 one stormy night, drenched in rain and attitude. He ordered black coffee, 3 times in 1 hour, never touched it. He just watched me. By the 3rd visit, I finally asked, "You ever gonna drink that?" He smirked. "Only if you serve it shirtless." I laughed nervously, awkwardly, the way kids do when they're not sure if something is a joke or a threat. He tipped $100 that night. Our first real conversation happened in the alley behind the diner. He had followed me out for a smoke, even though I didn't smoke. "You got a name?" he asked. "Elijah." He tasted it. "Biblical. You don't look like a prophet. You look like a sin." That was Levi, every sentence loaded, every word leaning in just a little too close. A week later, I was in his apartment. It was nothing like I expected. Industrial ceilings, exposed brick, dim lighting, and a bathtub in the middle of the bathroom like something out of a noir film. He had a record player that only played Billie Holiday and Miles Davis. The kitchen was too clean for someone who cooked, but the spice rack was full. Everything about him was a contradiction, and I wanted to be caught in every single one of them. We danced around each other for weeks. Not literally. Levi didn't dance. He cornered. Conversations turned into arguments. Arguments turned into long silences. And then one night I said something I shouldn't have. I asked, "Why do you only touch me when the lights are off?" His jaw clenched. He stared at me like I was either the bravest or the stupidest person alive. He walked into the bathroom, turned on the faucet in that clawfoot tub, and said, "Get in." I blinked. "Excuse me? You want me to touch you in the light?" he asked. "Get in." I did, clothes on, my heart thudding against wet denim. The water was warm, too warm, like I was being boiled in shame and desire. Levi didn't speak. He knelt, grabbed my jaw, tilted it. "You're getting bolder," he said, voice like gravel and smoke. Then he leaned in, bit my ear, and whispered, "Aren't you?" That night changed everything. I learned Levi loved hard and spoke little. He would never say, "I love you," out loud. But he'd make you breakfast at 3 a.m. He'd sit on the fire escape with me while I cried about missing my mom. He'd fight anyone who looked at me wrong, and I do mean fight. But there was a part of him I could never reach. Some nights, I'd wake up and find him staring out the window, cigarette dying between his fingers, his mind somewhere else. I never asked where. I was afraid of the answer. Then came the night that almost ended us. We were at a bar near Fort Greene. Some guy bumped into me on purpose, called me a slur. Before I could blink, Levi had the guy by the throat. Cops were called. Fists were thrown. When we got home, I was shaking. "You can't keep doing that." He slammed the door. "Doing what? Protecting you? That's not protection, Levi. That's violence." He stared at me, chest rising. Then softer, "I've lost people before. I don't want to lose you. You're going to. If you keep exploding like this, you'll lose me." For a week, we didn't talk. I stayed with a coworker. Levi didn't call. Neither did I. And then, at 2:14 a.m., there was a knock. I opened the door. He stood there, soaked in rain again like some twisted echo of the night we met. "I bought curtains," he said. I blinked. "What?" "For the windows, so it's not so bright when we touch." It was the stupidest, sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me. We didn't get better overnight. There were still fights, still long silences, still nights when I'd find him staring at nothing. But he let me in slowly. He told me about his dad, about running away, about the years he spent couch surfing, stealing to eat, how he still didn't sleep through the night. He never said, "I love you," but he started holding me in public, started calling me home instead of kid. And once, when I got sick, he sang to me in the bathtub. His voice cracked on every note. I didn't say a word. I just listened. 6 months later, I asked him to come meet my mom. He froze. "You told her about me?" "I told her about the man who bit my ear in a bathtub and scared the hell out of me in the best way." He chuckled. "That's a terrible way to describe me, but accurate." He came, wore a button-up, didn't smoke all day. My mom liked him, even if she did call him intense. Now, we live in a place with 2 bathtubs, his and ours. We still argue, still burn the toast, still cry during Billie Holiday songs. But now, when he bites my ear, I laugh, because I know what comes after. Some people fall in love with flowers and sunsets. I fell in love with a storm that learned how to be gentle. And that's better. That's braver. That's real. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.